Okay, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we are doing something a little different. We're going to be playing a continued one shot, or rather a special kind of session of our Barrow Maze campaign, doing something special. But unfortunately, we had basically 80% of the group ended up having stuff come up at the last minute, so we lost all of our players, leaving just me and Jeff. And I wasn't quite ready to run something I started preparing for him. So what we decided to do tonight is, rather than chalk it up to a total waste, we are going to create a character for Jeff in Jeff Thulean's awesome Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, which is one of my absolute favorite games right now. And with me to make his characters, of course, Jeffrey.
Hey, everybody. Jeff, and I'm going to be making somebody new.
James is listening. James, we're not telling you what you're missing. We're going to save that for another time. Jeff knows what the surprise is because I told him, and he said it was awesome and would have made James cry. So, James, you missed out on it tonight. But instead, tonight, we're going to make a character for Jeff in the Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea game. So Jeff has played in a one-shot for this when we ran one of our charity sessions, but he hasn't actually had a chance to make a character. It was just a pre-gen that he was handed, and like a trooper, he ran off to the races with it. So what we'll do, Jeff, is I'm not sure, apart from the sort of Viking, swords and sorcery feel to it, I'm not sure how much you know about Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. I'll call it Ash from now on, just to quit saying the whole thing.
I don't know a lot about it. We played that one shot, and that's really all I know.
Okay, so the game is based heavily on first edition AD&D. So mechanics-wise, it's very similar to AD&D in the sense that fighters have D10 hit points instead of D8, like you do in Basic or BX or BECMI. So the comparable one we played was Adventure Conqueror King. That was where you played that monk, the elemental monk. So what mechanically the game is based on is AD&D first edition, but what it does is it kind of sands off a lot of the rougher edges in favor of a little more of a streamlined play. We'll go through that as as it comes up. It's not really super important, but one of the things that's key for the setting is that it is in terms of player characters, humans only. This basically imagines they're in the old AD&D. I can't remember if I think it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. There was a thing called the Appendix N, and what it was sort of like a reference guide or reference material for what inspired AD&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. What Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea effectively does is it kind of takes out any of the Tolkien influences. So there's no elves, no dwarves, no kind of like, high fantasy kind of stuff. It's more about swords and sorcery and Lovecraftian horror and weird fiction in the form of another author named Clark Ashton Smith. And Clark Ashton Smith has this very distinct kind of, I don't want to say dreamlike, but it's this really almost surrealist, Baroque kind of fantasy / horror stuff. And it's distinctly its own thing. And it's partly like Howard's, Conan stories, and it's partly like Lovecraft stuff, but it's its own sort of romantic feel to it too. So the three authors, those are the three that primarily influenced the setting and the sensibilities of the game. Now, in terms of the characters you'll play, you're gonna, there are the sort of the bog standard D&D classes. So there's fighters, there's rogues, there's clerics, and there's magic users. But each of those also has a number of different subclasses, and the subclasses are very different from whatever their parent class is. So like the fighter has as subclasses, there's like the berserker, there's the barbarian, there's the paladin, there's the what do they call it? I can't remember the name of effectively it's the cavalier, but it's a cataphract, that's what they call it. There's huntsmen, rangers, like I said, paladins, and then there's something called a warlock, which is effectively like a warrior mage. So those are the subclasses. The subclasses for the Mage. I'm just going to go to the list here so I'm not going to forget any of them. There we go. I'm looking on page 24 is where they give all the different subclasses.
Yeah. Now, Kevin, is the party quite varied for this game that you have right now?
The thing, yeah, we've got like the game that I'm running set in Thule is really it's a mixed bag. I've got, let's see, in the party from that group, there's 2 warlocks, there's 1 berserker, there's a what the fuck was that? That's weird. Did you hear that? Or am I hearing things?
Yeah, no, it sounded like a knock or something fell.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking cleaner. See, one of my Batmen took a tumble. Anyway, let's see what else is in the group. We also have a rune graver, which is it's a cleric subclass.
Yeah.
We have a monk who is this neat like time lost Sikh. And then what else do we have? Oh, we've got a what are they? It's called a purloiner, which is like a religious thief. So it's a kind of like a class or a cleric thief type thing. And I think that's everybody. I'm gonna go through the list here. Oh, and we've got a fighter as well too. Like the nice thing about this game too is the like there are different XP lists or XP charts for each of the different classes, just like old school D&D. But the base classes aren't like that's not the only thing they have going for them. The magician base class has the broadest spell list of all the different types of wizards. The fighter has this cool ability that allows them to attack multiple times against lesser foes, and they are the ones that get to do the best kind of mastery, of weapon mastery. The clerics, I can't remember how they differ because we haven't actually had anyone play a cleric just yet. And then the thief is just the best well-rounded skills. The neat thing is that there's a lot of customization amongst each of the different classes as well too. So like if you're playing a shaman, you do get to pick whether you're having like regular cleric spells or druid spells, as well as regular magician spells or necromancer spells. And the bard is something similar to that. The legerdemainus is something similar. That's the warlock is something similar to that too, where they get to pick what spell list they're kind of using. So I guess the first thing to think of is I guess if you're asking whether there's whether there's like holes in the party or anything like that, it's not. It's because it's an old school game. It's not really important. Like you just kind of make do with whatever you've got.
Right.
It's good to have a healer, and this particular campaign as well too. I'm using random encounters. I'm using all the sorts of stuff we use in our barrow maze game. So not every encounter is necessarily going to be a fair one anyway. Right. So there's not that like concern about balance.
Now, you classically want people to use the attribute table to assign attributes?
Well,
what you did in this game?
It's your choice. Like what I used for everyone else playing in the game, I gave them a set of assigned attributes. Said like this is that just assign your stats this way, and that guaranteed everyone an 18 in something, and then it gave them a little control over how they wanted to to design their characters. This is like a lot of old school games, it can be challenging. And it can be there is definitely an aspect of save or suck. Save or die rather than save or suck in this game.
Right.
It's not like, oh, now I'm taking a penalty to my things. It's now I'm dead. Shit.
Right. I failed my dexter or my reflex save.
Yeah.
Dead.
So Arlen, who plays in our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers game, he says, play a paladin, and when Yason dies, you can be a paladin buddies with Sangramore, who's his backup. Arlen's character almost died in the not last session, but the session before that.
Nice. Now, I would kind of like to randomly roll the attributes and then choose my class based on how the roll goes.
Absolutely. So if you're going to randomly roll, then what I'll suggest is you do the 4d6, keep the 2 highest. Okay, drop the lowest rather. method, because that way you're not,
right. Method 3, according to the
thing. Yes. Yeah. So that way you're at least getting a chance of having decent stats in it. So go ahead. Let me go to the.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do, though, is they're letting me put them where I want. I'm going to roll them in order.
Okay.
So here, let's see. That's not a command you can put in, is it? Roll 4d6, drop the lowest or something?
No, but you can just hit roll 46 and we'll just keep the
We'll do it, yeah.
To be honest, hold on. You know what? If you go to the dice roller, you actually might be able to customize that.
Oh, yeah, like if you open...
Let's see. Advanced roll, target number, compounded, separated. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, well, I can roll them separate.
Yeah.
Because then it just doesn't give you a total. All right. So what are the order of the attributes?
Strength, Dex, Con, Intelligence, Wisdom, Charisma. The classic order.
Right. Strength, Dex, Con. Wait, Wisdom? Or Int, Wisdom, Charisma?
Yeah, Intelligence, Wisdom, Charisma.
I've written that down so many times I should know.
Yeah, I know.
All right, here we go.
On my deathbed, I'll give you my last words.
Is he strong? Well, he has a 12 strength.
12 strength, okay.
It's not bad. Is he quick?
Let's see here. Whoa!
Wait, what? Why did it roll so many dice?
Oh, did you have it set to explode?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. This is the separation thing is yeah. Never mind. That's separately exploding, not separate the dice. All right. Okay. Never mind. Ignore that 20. That was amazing. Amazing strength or dexterity. Try again. Oh, he is so slow.
Holy shit! 7
dexterity. Just when I made a joke about dying from a reflex save, that was actually the truth.
Yeah, you're right into the actual penalty phase. I'm not sure we've got anybody who's in the penalty zone.
Does he have Constitution?
Okay, here we go.
He does. 13.
13. Ugh.
Is he smart?
Are you filling out the character sheet or?
Oh, I'm just writing it down right now.
Okay.
Another 12.
Sheesh.
Is he at least wise? No.
12.
What? That's the flattest character that I could possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, he's charismatic, but still only a 16.
Yeah. Jesus. So what is he? He's Joe average because I think 12 doesn't give you a bonus in almost anything.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm going to propose another approach here. Is there are 6 attributes. What you could do is randomly assign the preset stats.
Oh, that would work too. I just wanted to make it random. So
yeah, I mean, like,
what are the?
If you
okay,
want
what are the preset? What are your preset numbers?
Let me snag the original email here. This is one of the reasons why I'm so glad my keyboard is fucking working again. I actually have 2 functioning computers now. Let's see here. Astonishing Swordsmen. Reavers of Tula. Here we go. What do we got? Where is it? Nudes map. Ash at Hobbs of Palooza. Gosh. Okay. Uh-oh. Let's see.
I mean, I would have never seen this email because...
No, because it was never...
I wasn't in this group.
No, and I've got... I think I've separated the emails out as well. Oh, you know what? I'm a dummy. Hold on. I can just open up... I know I have Colin's character saved here, so I've got his... I've got a couple of people's things done, but I can tell you what Kane's stats are. Okay, so the stats you can be assigning are an 18...
Yep.
A 16.
Yep.
2 13s. A 12 and a 9.
Okay. A little better than what I rolled.
Just a smidge. The thing is with like AD&D games, I mean, it's really a matter of extremes. Like if you're in the middling range, it's the stats stay. They don't really matter all. I mean, that's not true. I was gonna say they don't matter all that much, but they actually do in this game because it dictates your tests and feats of physical strength or physical abilities.
Yep.
So then maybe what you can do is if you assign your stats 1 through 6.
Yeah, I'll just roll a d6, then a d5, etc.
Yeah, and let's see what we get here.
All right. So my 18 is intelligence.
Intelligence, interesting. We don't have any. We've had a pyromancer in one of the one-shots, but we haven't had anyone play a full-on wizard. Nice. Oh, wait. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I think someone played a witch in the one you played in. Okay, so next one.
A d5 for what's left.
Yeah.
5. So that would be the last one. My charisma is a 16.
Interesting.
Which remains from my original roll.
Okay.
So now a d4. Strength of 13.
Okay. You're looking kind of bardic-like right now.
And /roll 1d3.
3. Oh, 1d3. So that's wisdom.
So that's wisdom of 13.
Okay. And then I guess it's
a coin.
Let's see here.
2.
Okay, so your dex.
My con is a 12. So I did. Wow, that's amazing. My dex was my bad score, and my charisma was a 16. And after redoing this, my dex is my 9, and my charisma is still 6.
Nice. Okay, so let's look at your character. What's your strength again?
13.
13. Okay, your dex is a 9.
Yep.
Con's 12.
Con 12. Intelligence 18. Wisdom is 13.
Wisdom 16. All right,
Wisdom
interesting.
16.
So, I mean, that's not... I'll fill out your on your Roll20 character sheet. I've got the book in front of me here, so let's quickly fill out what your...
Which one's my sheet?
Yours is the one that has no name right now. Let me see if it'll save here. I'll put the name.
Oh, I don't see one.
The one called Jeff?
Like on the handouts tab? Oh, there. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I see it.
So I've got that open. I'm just adding in the modifiers here for you. So your test of strength with a 13 is going to be a 3. Boom, boom, 3. And you have an 8% chance of the feat of strength. And depending on what class, one of the neat things about it is, depending on what class you pick, there's what the feat is. So the two different sort of physical tests in this, or physical, checks. The test is sort of like the average, test you would make of Constitution, Dex, or Strength. Something like you're forcing a door, or you're running for a long distance, or like doing a forced march or something like that. The feats come from when it's like a crazy, extraordinary thing. And the certain classes get certain like big fat bonuses to those feats. So like, fighters will have instead of having a extraordinary feat of strength of say 32, they'll get plus 8% on top of on that. And it goes for all of them. So instead of 32, they'll have a 40% chance. And similarly for a lot of thieves get the bonus to Dex. And I think it's the barbarians? Berserkers. If the berserkers have a constitution score, they get to add a plus 8% to their constitution thing as well. So we may change that. Your Dex of 9 gives you a test of 2, which is not super, and a 4% chance of for your feat. Your constitution of 12 gives you no modifiers, and the test is 2, feat is 4. Your intelligence gives you, plus 3 languages. That's pretty cool. You get bonus spells. So you get a bonus first level spell, second level spell, third level spell, fourth level spell when you qualify for them. That's pretty good. And your chance to learn a spell is 95%. Because this is just like the older school versions where, like, if you get access to a scroll and it's a scroll spell you don't have, assuming you can cast spells, you can make that check to see if you can actually learn the darn thing. As a wizard, you're not a wizard, a divine caster. You would also get a bonus. No bonus to your. I don't know why they've got a bonus spells list there. That's weird. No bonus to your willpower. No, you got a bonus spell from your wisdom, and your chance to learn spells is 65 with that. And then your charisma, the 16 is +1 to your reaction and loyalty. Max henchman is 8. So I don't want to hear any talk about hiring 9 henchmen. And there's a bonus to under. Oh, that's cool. To turning undead. All right. So that is your stats. Looks like you're pretty clever, charming, strong little fit, and you're not crushing it in willpower, but you're decently wise. What are you thinking in terms of class?
Well,
and I guess first thing is what broad category? If it helps, we can start with the broader category and then go down to if you want to do a subclasses.
Yeah, I think I'll be a magician.
Oh.
I was just looking at them. I don't know what they all are.
So the let's see. Let's go through the quick list here. So the magician is your general all-purpose spellcaster. They're the ones who they have the largest spell lists. Like if you want to compare spell lists, they are start on page 142, and then they go forward. The subclasses, the cryomancer has ice spells. They work, spells that deal with ice. The illusionist is what it sounds like. The necromancer, likewise, what it sounds like. Pyromancer is a fire-wielding spellcaster, arcane caster. And the witch or wizard is kind of like they've got a different spell list. Like they've got a lot of buffing type spells. It seems they're not quite as like direct effect the way that like the wizards or the magicians or the pyromancers or the cryomancers are. It's a lot of like buff debuff type stuff.
Wait, which one?
The witch or wizard.
Oh.
They also get some interesting special, like each of the subclasses gets some special abilities. Like pyromancer has the ability to create fire. Once per day per level of experience, they can evoke a heatless candle-like flame. And the witch gets something where they can brew potions, brew poisons, and then at a certain level, they can summon a witch's familiar, and they can brew a love potion. They can dance at 5th level, a dance of beguilement. So the downside, not the downside, but the downside to the witch, I guess, is that it doesn't quite get access to the same amount of directly offensive spells. And actually, I shouldn't just tell you. If you want to take a look yourself, between 142 and 149 are the different spells, and these you should probably recognize like 80 to 90% of the spells. They're pretty much the same. Yeah. Some of them are like reskinned, like Pyromancer doesn't have magic missiles; they have flaming missile. The Cryomancer has magic ice dart; it doesn't have magic missile. But you can kind of tell what those spells do.
Now I'm leaning illusionist.
Interesting. Okay. Illusion does have a pretty good spell list. Like it's longer than the some of the others. And what is the actual? I actually don't know what the special ability is they get. Why are you thinking illusionist?
It seems, I think it fits nicely with charisma. Like you're trying to do things like terrify your opponents or affect their mind, and sort of a combination of intelligence and charisma fits there to me. Oops.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's kind of a fun class. Like I like to try and play something that's a little challenging, and being an illusionist is a little challenging. You don't just have fireballs to throw at people. You have to sort of be creative with your magic.
Yeah, no, and that'll be interesting. In particular, if your character is going to be in Thuleborg, the setting for the for this campaign. There's a lot of different factions you can play off of. So you've got stuff you can do in town. You don't have to worry about like, oh fuck, I can't do, I can't cast magic missile or fireball or something like that. Okay, so then let's see here. Is that the lock-in then? Or are we going with Illusionist?
I think so. I think it sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. All right, so then let's see here. You do not have a modifier to your hit points, which means you have a whopping 4 hit points.
Wow. It's called Never Get Hit.
As well, let's see here. And your hit dice is 1d4. Yeah, you're going to want to.
Do you get all the stuff from the Illusionist section?
I am. I'm looking on page.
Yeah, like 50. The picture.
Yeah.
Plus, look at that picture on page.
It's pretty fucking cool. The picture that Jeff's looking at is. Yeah, the illustrations in this game are just awesome. I love them. Okay, so then we know that your favorite weapons are dagger, dart, quarterstaff, and sling. Those are just basically like it's the Ash version of proficiencies. Your saving throw modifiers, however, let's see here. You're going to get +2 to device and +2 to sorcery. And then because you are first level, I believe your saving throw is a 16. Let me double check that. And then we'll do some of the backstory, because one of the neat things about this game, another reason and I'm going to keep prefacing it with that, but I really do I love this game so much. It's so much fun to run, so much fun to prep. But one of the things I love about the setting is that its actual real world culture is sort of, well, for the most part, put through kind of a weird lens, you know? So it's, there's Vikings, there's Picts, there's, First Nations groups from the northern west coast of Canada, which I think is pretty fucking cool. Because in Thuleborg, there's actually a melding of some Viking cultures along with Aleutian and what are they called? I can't remember the ones who make the totem poles. I don't remember the specific tribe, but what am I looking for here? I'm looking for your saving throws. I'll be after the stuff. So one of the neat things as well that should be coming fairly soon is there's a player's guide for this that just has the player's information in it, and it's got a brand new cover and it's soft cover as well instead of the hardcover.
Oh, nice!
It looks good. It's got no new content in it, but I'm looking forward to having it. And the DM screen is coming out this week as well too. So, or not this week, but sometime very soon. Okay, so let's hear. So rather than having like THAC0 or like bonus to hit or whatnot, what Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea does is it assigns or tracks that stuff through fighting ability and casting ability. So your fighting ability is a 0 right now at first level, but your casting ability, is a 1. So you count as a first level character. You do not have any turning. As a first level character with a whopping intelligence, that means you have 2 spells per day, 2 first level spells you can cast. Boom. And let's see here. What else do you get? So class abilities are, you get a +2 bonus to saving throws versus illusions and phantasms, which makes sense. So let's do this here. +2 there. Okay. Let's see. What else do we need from your class? You can read magic. You can read scrolls. You can scribe scrolls, although I doubt you're going to have money to do that just yet. You start off with a spell book that contains 3 illusionist spells drawn from the illusionist spell list. So the illusionist spell list is on page 145. And I know what the likely answer is going to be to this. Do you want to pick your spells or randomly generate what's in there?
Let me just look at them.
Sure.
Here we are. Well, let's randomly generate them, and if after 2 I don't have like something that seems usable, I'll choose the last one.
Sounds good. Okay, so why don't you give me a D23 check, please?
All right, here we go. This is one of the nice things about
Roll 20. Yeah. 23. Nice. Right spell.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That sounds powerful.
Well, it's right as in W. So it allows you to transfer an incantation from one spellbook to another. Oh, that's kind of cool. That is cool.
So without it... Okay. So technically, if I met another illusionist, I can use this spell to write their spell into my book?
Yep.
If
absolutely.
they will allow me to do it.
Absolutely. It takes you 6 turns, so 1 hour per spell level. And it requires Sorcerer's Ink, a fine quill, and a crushed gem of 100 GP value or greater.
So pretty expensive.
Pretty expensive, but yeah, it's pretty... I mean, the guys in the regular campaign have been making money hand over fist, so I think you may be okay there.
So I will just roll a D22.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know, because... yeah, that'll work, because you 23. We just cut off the last one. Let's see what else you get. Boom, 7. Detect invisibility.
Interesting.
Now, right now, as an illusionist, you can detect invisibility when you cast your spell. You can copy a spell, so you've got a pretty... I mean, I think all the different magician classes can learn that one. You don't have anything that is specifically illusionist.
No.
So, the spells you might want to look at... well, I guess first off, do you want an offensive spell, or do you want something that's going to be trickier?
Well, there's hypnotism
Yeah.
and disguise self that both sound interesting.
Yeah. Color spray is something that you used, I think, in... it's a Pathfinder version, but it works very much like the D&D version where it can stun people.
What about Terrify?
Terrify. Cool. Let's see what that does. So Terrify. The fears of a subject are exploited by this enchantment. Eye contact must be established, and a sorcery saving throw is allowed to resist the effect. If it fails the saving throw, he imagines the caster as something that is poignantly, good lord, poignantly malefic in a personal way. This menace could be the monster of a childhood nightmare or some other horror from the subject's past, something that compels a phobic reaction. The caster must pretend to approach the manner in a deliberate and threatening manner, though he knows not what the subject imagines. The victim will turn and run for the duration of the spell. Spell is 2 rounds plus 1 round per caster level. If the victim is cornered, he will simply cringe in fear. If a cowering subject is attacked, the spell will be broken.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm going to take Terrify?
Yeah. But you know what, Kev? I think I'm going to change Detect Invisibility.
Sure.
Just because I want to give my character to say that he maybe has made a living doing some kind of a show, like a traveling show or a entertainment thing. So take something like ventriloquism or dancing lights or something.
Before you pick, do you want to see what your secondary skill is?
Sure.
Do you actually randomly generate, or you can randomly generate that as well?
So I'll leave the last slot until we kind of fill in the backstory.
Yeah.
But
so let me just add your other spell here. So Terrify.
Yeah, Terrify and Right spell, and 1 slot which I'm going to use for something that I could entertain crowds with or entertain people with.
Okay. So let's see here. The random stuff for the backstory. Let's see what race you are. Give me a 2d12 check, please.
2d12.
And I have 1 race I'm kind of hoping you become, but we'll see. 7. Oh, interesting. Esquimaux.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're the name Hyperborea, like where the setting is from, it comes from a Clark Ashton Smith setting for some short stories of his. But it also, I mean, it's the name of like the Greek name for the land beyond the north wind. And many of the cultures that are from here, some of them are either like invented or they're They're just taken because they fit the sword and sorcery kind of milieu. But some of them are taken because they happen to inhabit those northern lands. Like there's Laplanders, there's Eskimo, there's the, gosh, what are the other ones? Yakuts, the Lingot. So a lot of people who are from northern climes. So that's interesting. And so the typical homelands, one of them is the city-state of Chromarium. And the city-state of Chromarium is located, I mean, if you scroll down, it is right here in the Lug Wasteland. I think I can zoom in as well, too. Man, this map is cool. Yeah, Chromarium is right on the southern tip of Hyperborea. And it's effectively the grandest city remaining. One thing that happened in the setting is, so there's all these different cultures that have come in. There's other sentient but less friendly and more secretive and unknown and hidden races that sort of lurk in Hyperborea. It's sort of like a dumping ground for, you know, lost cultures and civilizations, as well as lost people. And about 200 years ago, there was this thing called the Green Death. This comet passed overhead, and this horrible plague spread all through Hyperborea, wiping out some entire cities and whatnot. And Chromarium is one of the cities that was one of the most glorious Hyperborean cities of all. Hyperboreans are kind of like Elric and or like the Melambonians, where they're these tall, you know, gaunt, kind of like white-haired guys who were part of this decadent culture that used to have all this great sorcery and science, and then sort of just fell into decrepitude because of indulgences, and then and also the influx of this really evil religion, and then the Green Death hit and it fucking wiped out this place. But Chromarium remains one of the grandest, like, sort of melting pots of anywhere in Hyperborea. I think likely the most. So Chromari is one. The other option is, or the other two options, one of them is Plains of Lang, which I'm going to say no to, just because it's pretty far away and it would be difficult. It's right in the middle there to explain why you'd be here. But the other option is Esquimaux Bay, which I think is in the north here. Yeah, right up way in the north. So do you think your character came from, I mean, given your illusionist stuff, I'm going to suggest is probably Chromarium is more likely.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. So then, so that's kind of interesting. So then you're going to want to think about like Inuit style names, maybe, or something. And what you can do too, you don't need to be true to the culture, because these cultures have all been in Hyperborea for centuries, if not, you know, millennia. So they've all sort of been transformed over time in the same way that, like, you know, when the culture is separated from one, colonies or whatnot, they change to become different animals and different sort of expressions of that culture than what their parent culture was. So that's cool. Let's talk about your, okay, so your age. You want to be a young adult, an adult, middle-aged, old, or ancient. I don't know, wait, you start off young at the start, forgive me. So starting point for most PCs, so you're going to be between 14 and 20.
Can I just say he's 20? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then give me a 3d6 check. Let's check your height. Oh, sorry, hold on. For Eskimo, roll 4d6 for height. Drop the highest. You're a little small.
So let's roll 46.
Okay, drop the highest. 13. Oh, you're pretty tall. Give me a D3 roll, please. This is the.
I'm tall for an Eskimo.
Definitely, you're 6'1".
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, because how do you? What was the 3D?
It was
the 3d6 result. Oh, I see.
Extra inches added to it. Yeah. So yeah, you're 6'1", and then would you kindly give? Let's see here. Roll a D10 for me, please. So the average weight's 180. Let's see which way you're going.
Roll a D10.
Yeah.
One S10, one D10.
D10. 8. Okay, 8 is greater than average. Give me a D4. We'll see what that is. Apparently, you've been living large.
So how did this work?
A 1. Okay, so what it is we add 10%. So you're actually 198 pounds.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. Okay, so you're 198 pounds, and you're pretty tall for an Eskimo as well. Languages. So as an Eskimo, I mean, you're going to take, you'll have common automatically. And I will give you one of the, I'm going to suggest you've got the Eskimo coastal dialect. And then you have 3 other languages as well. So the languages are on page 106.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that.
Oh, are you? Okay, yeah.
So everyone has common or not?
Yep,
like,
everyone starts with common. Yeah, everyone gets common. You also get, I'm going to
So I get 3 extra.
3 extra. So common and Eskimo, the coastal dialect, and 3 more.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there any that would be...
So the ones that are probably... the native tongue for the former rulers or the people who built Chromarium, that would be the Hellenic Hyperborean dialect.
Yeah.
The Atlantean is, possibly something you would see fairly often. Old Norse is something that will come up in Thuleborg quite often. It's founded by Vikings. So
it might also be a reason that I would travel there if that's where the campaign happens.
And depending on what, the Thracian, Thracian in the Ixian dialect, the Ixians are this kind of magically powerful race that lives off on this island of Scythium. And then there's also a kind of subsect of them called the Necromancers of Ix. And they are incredibly powerful necromancers. An island full of dead people. So that may be something you cited. The Atlantean dialect as well. The Atlanteans did not, their civilization didn't quite reach the peaks of the Hyperboreans, but the Atlanteans definitely, they had more, if you're thinking of weird science kind of stuff, the cool thing with another cool thing about the setting is there is that kind of weird ray guns and swords and sorcery stuff, because a lot of the Atlantean tech looks kind of like 50s sci-fi.
Well, let's say that I'm going to say he's into this sort of ancient stuff, and so the two of the 3 are the Hellenic, the Hyperborean one, and the Atlantean one.
Okay.
And then I'll take Old Norse so that it sort of fits in with...
nice, that makes sense, yeah.
Thuleborg.
Awesome. Okay, so this guy is coming together. The religion we don't need to pick, because there's quite a few ones to go through, but it's worth going through. You're not a class that is part of a clergy or is having a direct relationship with a god, so you can decide sort of which one fits.
Is there a god of the water?
There is. That is it Uller? No, that's of the water. Well, there is a god of where is it here? The god of extraplanar travel, ultra dimensions, cosmic hunger, energy absorption, human sacrifice, time travel, illusion, duality, and reincarnation is Kraken.
Oh, okay, I'm obviously Kraken.
So
it includes illusion, and it also says typical followers are Esquimaux.
Yeah. So that's great.
And the Vikings, which is sort of like a connection between me and the language of the Vikings and Thuleborg and all of that. So
yep, totally agree.
Makes perfect sense.
Secondary skills. Would you kindly give me a D6 roll and then a D20 roll? You can do both at the same time if you'd like as well.
Sorry, what's that? So first roll a D20 or a D?
Either of them. It doesn't really matter for the order.
Okay. A 6. And then...
6, interesting. Okay. And then...
meaning that it's on the 3rd column.
That's right, yeah. And then 8. So a roofer or a riverman? Is that right? No, roofer or thatcher.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So maybe that's a family thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And so you only have one of these? This is your secondary skills? That's what you do?
Yep. That's just it. It informs your. What we've been using it for is to inform like things that you may be able to get a good chance to make a check on. Like if a character has, one character's got a gardener is their secondary skill, so they get better chances of finding medicinal herbs when they're scrounging, when they're traveling. I'm using in the campaign. I use this guy here, the Wilderness Survival Guide. Yeah, so it's got great rules for the dangers of actually traveling. Characters make camp. They have to go hunting. They have to find firewood, stuff like that. So, because Thule is a dangerous, dangerous place. All right, now let's talk about your starting gear. I think what we'll do is we'll just give you the starting kit. That's what we've done for everyone else.
I think that's a good backstory. I think that my family was quite good at thatching and weaving, and so they ended up in the roofing, and then that's why they ended up in the larger city. Is they found work because there's lots of roofs, obviously, as opposed to a small town where
it's a crumbling kind of ancient city as well too. And that also may be why your character, you may have had that as the background, but you still could be the kind of traveling entertainer, or trying to.
Or I'm trying to get out of sort of this family roofing business, which he thinks is terribly boring.
Yeah. Well, we're assuming that you've left that behind at the start of the campaign because.
Right.
Okay, so where do you think he learned his illusionist talents from? Where did he learn to become an illusionist?
Maybe in the city of, what is it? Chromogium?
Chromarium.
Chromarium. Maybe just he met an illusionist through the family business, and he took an interest in it, and the illusionist saw that he was much too bright and charismatic to be a career of roofing, and sort of took him under his wing and taught him.
Okay, so you saw you had
apprentice kind of thing.
You had some like natural talent or something like that.
Yeah, maybe he had some natural talent.
Okay. Then like maybe you like one of the things you get as an illusionist apart from the spells is being able to perceive illusions. Is maybe you saw through his illusion at some point.
He had some illusions on his house to sort of hide some of the things that he was doing while we were there working.
Or even him, like he could have cast a spell on himself, and like he let's say imagine that he was dressed like shit and hadn't shaved and whatever else, but he casts an illusion where everyone sees him as this rich noble with fine clothing and whatnot too, and you were the only one who was kind of staring at him like, what the fuck is he doing here?
Right. Or asked him some kind of question, and that he realized I could see through the illusion.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it was a favorable kind of apprenticeship, or is something that you drew away? Was it a positive experience, or was it something that
I think it started out positive, but it quickly became that I saw that he was just using illusion for sort of like what you said, for vain purposes, and so it's sort of I thought there was much more that could be done with it, and so I've moved on to seek out the grander uses of illusions.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I love that. Okay.
Like maybe I even got Terrify from him, but he was using it for things like, scaring the neighborhood kids, or, he scared some woman or something that I thought was, just dark and unbecoming of a good illusionist.
Okay. So you thought more that it was like fun and games kind of stuff. What was your height again?
6'1", I think you said.
Yeah, 6'1". Okay, here we go.
And 198 pounds. I closed that sheet for some reason.
height doesn't let you put more than just a flat foot. 198. Hair, I'm guessing, is black.
Yep.
What about your eyes? And they would normally be darker, but you're free to do whatever you want.
I'll say they're brown.
Brown? Okay.
Yeah.
Age, you said you were 20?
Yep.
Okay, male. Race. All right. Your secondary skill was for Thatcher. All right, let's take a look at your prime requisites. Prime attributes are dexterity and intelligence. Oh, your dexterity is garbage. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so
wait, what's my prime attribute? Is dexterity for illusionist?
Both dexterity and intelligence. Yeah, so what that means is if both of them are 16 or greater, then you get plus 10% XP bonus.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so because you don't, so maybe that's a deficiency in your, like, you're clearly clever, you're really charming or whatnot, but you're just clumsy.
Yeah, maybe. He's just, he doesn't have the manual dexterity. I like that.
Okay. So that's part of it. You're just, it's harder for you to learn this stuff than, than for, I guess, than what your master found how he found it, or she. I mean, could be either. All right, so let's talk about your starting. I guess we have to pick that last spell as well too. It was page 142, wasn't it?
Yes. Let's see here.
Yeah, so the magician one, illusion 145. George. George says in chat, Jeff, your character is turning out to be very cool. If you want to keep him, do not let Kevin put you on a ship. Look at all that ocean, though, George. I'm sure it'll work out fine. Oh, that's great.
I think it's between disguise self.
Yep.
Dancing lights and ventriloquism.
Okay. So
the disguise self fits the most with what you said. Maybe the illusionist was using, so it kind of fits in there.
Yep.
And he could be doing sort of these like some kind of interesting disguises to entertain people.
Yep.
I mean, ventriloquism is kind of obvious,
Yep.
And dancing lights, he could do some kind of, light show for people.
Yeah. So disguise self has got a maximum duration of 6 turns. So that'll be 1 hour.
More than enough to do an interesting show.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Like if I'm making myself look like the mayor of
Simpletown.
Yeah.
So I got my Jeep is tuned to the 80s station. So I hear that fucking song pretty often. Okay, so let's hear. So disguise self's that. Dancing lights is the advantage there, I guess, is that, I mean, you could use it to, to move around and to make make it look like it's torchbearers. But apart from that, it doesn't really do much else.
Right, dancing lights.
Yep. And then what was the third one?
Ventriloquism.
Ventriloquism, yeah, which would be, I think, just as it sounds.
Right. Which I may do, like, I mean, that's kind of a funny bar or, like that kind of thing on a show, right? You're making the bartender's dog talk, or you're,
Yep.
Let's go with Ventriloquism.
Nice.
I think it's fun.
Hey, that's great.
There might be some game use I can find for it too. We'll see.
I imagine you can find this is again like kind of one of the fun things about these older games is finding ways to make your abilities useful rather than just like, oh, here's the ratchet I need to put in this socket. I don't know if those two things go together. I don't do home repair at all. Okay, let's see here. We've got your spells picked. We've got your backstory. Name. What do you think of the name? Are you gonna go with like a fancy or fantasy kind of thing, or are you thinking like you want to take a look at what actual Inuit names are and then play off of those?
Yeah, I was just looking at this list of Inuit names on the internet.
I actually found a really cool for one of the characters from my Terror at Outpost Theta one shot. His name was Kalawak, maybe? I don't remember. Where is he? Terror at Outpost Theta. Kilok the Sin Speaker. And he actually lived too. No one that whole group actually survived.
There is Tulugak.
Tulugak.
Lugaak.
Okay. Go ahead and fill that in for your name on your character sheet.
Yep.
Because I do not know how to spell that offhand.
Probably pronouncing it wrong.
Tulugak. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So Tulugak, does Tulugak have a nickname as well too? Is he Tulugak the Illusionist, Tulugak the clever, Tulugak the whatever, or just Tulugak?
He probably doesn't have one yet, but maybe in the future.
Okay. All right, so that's interesting. Well, let's see here. What else do we need to do? Your gear. So as an illusionist, you start with, let's see here, silver dagger, quarterstaff. I'm just looking on page 129. Silver dagger, quarterstaff, sling, backpack, bandages, blanket, 20 bullets, chalk, ink and quill, hooded lantern, lamp oil ×2, a silver mirror, parchment ×3, soft leather pouch, silk rope, small sack, tinderbox, a full wineskin. I'll take care of that soon. Writing stick, iron rations, and spellbook.
That's pretty good.
A pretty good compliment, yeah. All right, so that gives you pretty good amount of stuff to start with. You don't have any armor to start with, so your move is a 40. Then quick, your AC is going to be not great because you have no armor. Your AC is a 9. Your dexterity is not great, so
he's easy to hit. Like I said, he stays out of combat, I think, as much as possible.
I think that's a probably safe bet. Okay. But he does have a ranged weapon. Like it's not
right, he's got a sling.
Yeah. A sling with 20 bullets. So sling, let's see here. Your Thaco. You want something neat about this character? And this is someone in the community who added this in. That's so cool. I'm going to add your weapon here. So sling. Where's your sling? Range is 50 /100 /150. Oopsies. 150. Attack rate is 1. Attack modifier is none. Damage is 1d4. Notes. Okay, why don't you click on your sling, the dice next to your sling. I'll show you something neat about this character sheet.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Boom. Check it out. It tells you what AC you hit.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So you don't have to do the Thaco thing where you're like subtracting the armor class and whatever. So I like that a lot. And I'll add your quarterstaff here. Here's another neat thing too. You see how there's the class on there? under your melee weapon.
Yeah, like class abilities.
Oh well, no. What it is, the class is the basically it's like the length of your weapon. So if someone charges in and they've got a shorter weapon than you do, you automatically, as long as you attack, you get to act before them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Quarterstaff. Quarterstaff has. So quarterstaff gets +1 AC versus melee attacks, as long as you're wielding it two hands.
Oh, nice. So I can use it to defend myself.
Yeah. So as long as you got two hands, I'm gonna assume you've got two hands. Well, yeah, I'll assume you got two hands. I'll get. Oh, whoops, wrong way. This is descending AC game. Come on, Kev, get it together. All right. Attack rate is uno. Attack modifier nil. Staff, quarterstaff, 1d8 or 1d6 damage. Okay. Notes. Interesting. Okay. So we got you. Now, what do you picture him kind of dressing like? What does he look like when he's not using? Wait, he didn't learn disguise self, did he? No, he didn't.
No, he didn't end up learning disguise
self.
So
what is he like? Do you see him dressing in, traditional, Inuit things or Eskimo stuff, or is he, like a traditional, what do you call it? Say traditional, classic wizard with the long robes and whatnot. Or
yeah, I think it's more like he's got a real wizard looking outfit because he's trying to be an entertainer, so he's trying to make a living doing that. So yeah, he's got a wizard look. So a long robe, maybe he's just got a fancy cloak, and not a lot of the other fixings yet, but that's sort of where he's at.
Arlen says, pro tip, buy extra wineskins. They've been lost in Thule for 5 sessions now, and they keep running out of water and they keep running out of food. So.
Oh, that's funny.
We ended the last session with a fucking blizzard hitting too. So. Oh my god. Okay, so what else do we need to do here? We need to find a picture of this dude. Let's see what I want to see what. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what some weird Inuit spellcaster gets me a bunch of like death metal covers. So that's not what I'm looking for. Let's try. Oopsies. Okay, and Inuit mage just gives me a bunch of like, traditional Eskimo or Inuit rather clothing. What do you see your guy looking like? Is he clean shaven? Does he have that like patchy kind of beard and mustache that some Inuit guys can grow?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds good. Yeah, I don't see a picture that's really.
No, I'm doing like First Nations mage. Let's see here.
Well, okay, so yeah, it doesn't help with an actual picture, but
no. And with a less politically correct search, Indian wizard does show up politically correct results. So we're getting like actual, Indian subcontinent characters, not First Nations. And First Nations wizard gives me nothing. What if I check? No, Cree wizard. No. That's. I mean, there's a. So Google is apparently a little racist because I searched for spellcasting American Indian, and what I got was a half orc. That's kind of awful. Let's see here. See what illusionist gives us. It's a rock gnome. That's not helpful. Do you see her wearing like a full robe, or do you wear like some kind of thing over your face? Do you have a hood?
I think I'm picturing a hood.
Yeah. Like of all the spellcasters, I think that the illusionists are probably the ones that would look or potentially look the most unusual, only because like they're illusionists.
So there's this one.
Let's see what we got.
I'll just post it in there and then wait. Sure. How do you add the picture?
Nope. Good idea, Nefarious. Nefarious suggested looking for American Shaman. Let me see here.
Oh, edit.
American Shaman gives me some kind of like healthcare needs, or what do you call it? Like alternative medicine.
This one. Let's see here, it's uploading.
Well, let's see what you got. Yeah, I mean, it's your character, so you can make them look.
This one's not bad.
Oh, did you load it to the character?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Tulagak. Oh, it's open already. Boom. That's pretty fucking cool. Yeah. Oof. You like that?
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's that works for me. Okay. So we've got good old Tulagak. We know what his gear is. It's not on his character sheet yet, but we know what his gear is. We know what his spells are. We know what his languages are. We don't know is what kind of trouble has he got himself in. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab. We have two options here for you. We can have you having a drink at one of the establishments in Thuleborg, and we can make a roll on the carousing table and see what happens. Or I can roll on the events for the day on the chart that I always use from Oriental Adventures. Or I can see how this adventure is going to start by rolling randomly on either my Conan 2D20 Adventure Creator or on my, what do you call it? What's that thing called? Lankmore Savage Worlds random chart. What are you feeling there? Well, first off, we got to change your display name too to now Tulagak.
Oh yeah.
Let's move over and take a look at Thuleborg. I actually haven't looked at this in. Well, first let's show you what this is what Thule looks like there, Jeff. Wide, stretching,
black
tundra vistas.
Zoom out. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you can ignore the characters that are on there, but that is what the lands of Tula look like. Oh, and you do actually have a map too. Let me show you what this is. The map that everyone has been looking at. So this is what was created by this half-mad Viking who returned from Tula. He traveled with a doomed fleet that discovered this lost continent. It was heralded, it's said, by a titanic wave that nearly shattered their boat. It, in fact, did shatter the ship's prey, the Ixian freighter that they were pursuing. But this is the map, and you can see where Thuleborg, the capital, is, or rather the kind of head of the main, I guess, colony that's been established. There's Jernheim, which is it's a mining community. It's a little further inland. It's said that there is another community of Esquimaux in the Bay of Mists. So I'm not sure whether your character didn't seem to have grown up in, like at best, it's sort of like Chromarium, Eskimo ghetto, not necessarily, if you were really immersed in the culture. So there's that, but at least you probably speak their language. The approach is along the haunted coast here.
Okay.
And Let's see here, but I think this is the first time we've actually shown the map of Thuleborg on the stream. This is Thuleborg.
Nice.
Thank you. I drew that.
Yeah, I remember seeing you posting on Twitter as you were working on it.
Yeah. Well, I said, thank you. It took quite some time to get that finished, but all right. So this is Thuleborg, and let's see here. What do we want to do? What do you want to? We got about half an hour left. We want to get him into some trouble.
Yeah. Well, you said you had a roll of a random thing that happened, like in the bar.
Yeah, carousing.
Yeah, let's do carousing.
This is the same table that ended up with what's his name, Skurg, having all those tattoos all over him.
Yes. So Tulagak is here. He's trying to, entertain people with his ventriloquism to make some money, and maybe this is, what happened to him when he.
Let me tell you a little bit about Thuleborg as well, too, Jeff, because I don't think you weren't included in the.
No, I don't know anything about it.
No, so here we go. So let's talk about Thuleborg.
It looks extremely fortified.
Tis, yeah. Okay, so here's the general information about Thuleborg. Because at the time I sent this, I actually hadn't finished the map. So Thuleborg is a wild frontier town that sprung up on the bones of a ruined settlement, which itself seems to have been built over an even older ruin. The town, or stronghold, has been built up over the past 6 or 7 years at a shockingly fast pace. Thane Thurmond claims to be the ruler of Thuleborg, and that is part of the House of Thurmond, one of the major factions that is one of the power players in Thuleborg. The town, Thane Thurmond, claims to be the ruler of Thuleborg and the surrounding lands, but he maintains that control thanks to alliances with the Second Sons, who are a bunch of landless nobles from Chromarum, the Sorcerers Guild, which is a powerful magical guild based out of Chromarum, the Necromancers of Ix, some of those necromancers that we talked about before, the Crusade of the Burning Dawn, which is a group of devout followers of Apollo and Artemis who see Thule as a wild and unholy land in need of taming, and the Thulean Commerce League. And the Thulean Commerce League is a group of wealthy merchants hoping to grow rich from the treasures to be found in Thule. They finance the stone quarry and iron mines near Yernham. Some say he has also allied himself with both the Guild and the Black Lotus Tong. The Black Lotus Tong is a sinister and secretive gang of Lemurian merchants, spies, and assassins who are deadly rivals of the Guild. The Guild is the Thieves Guild, based out of the city-state of Chromarum, and it's arguably the most powerful of such organizations anywhere in Hyperborea. So you have in the back alleys of Thuleborg as well this sort of simmering Cold War of back alley stabbings between the two different factions, and Thane Thurmond doesn't seem to expressly favor one over the other. One of the interesting things as well, at the base of the keep there, and then the bulk of what makes up this big black tower there.
Yep.
What that is the Tower of the Necromancer. That is where the Necromancers of Ix have chosen to basically locate themselves. Not unsurprisingly, right next to the Boneyard. But the tower itself seems to be made out of this greasy black stone. And right at the base of the tower, or the base of Thuleborg Keep, that it has made of the same kind of unusual stone. You don't think you've seen anything like it. Like, you come from probably one of the most ancient and most cosmopolitan cities of anywhere. It's been around for millennia. Like, people don't know when the founding of Chromarum happened. But even in that sprawling and ancient metropolis, you've never seen any stone like this.
Mm.
what I put down is that if you picture the wild and lawless state of the Old West boom towns like Deadwood or Gold Rush era San Francisco, you've got an idea of the dangers that lurk in the streets and alleys of Thuleborg. Might often makes right, though strong alliances can often substitute for might. So, I also kind of like, what do you do in Thuleborg? So what do you do in Thuleborg? If you find yourself at a loss of what to do in Thule, and you're not interested in currying favor with one of the factions, and we'll talk about the factions in a moment, you could seek out one of the countless tombs and barrows that litter the wild lands of Thule. You could hire on with prospectors looking for veins of gold, iron, and silver. You could work as a caravan guard, protecting the route between Jernheim and Thuleborg. You could hunt the varied beasts of Thule for the butchers, leatherworkers, and fletchers of Thuleborg. You could travel to make contact with one of the wild factions from outside of Thuleborg, like the Frostwood Circle, the Mist Hunters, the Ranging Prides, or the Coven. You could seek out hiding places of raiders and pirates. You could clear the lands near Thuleborg of all threats, for which Thane Thurmond has offered a rich reward. You could explore and map Thule for the Sages Guild. You could carouse at the Dragon's Rest, or the Caravanserai, or Foxbeard's Hall, or the Pickled Peg, and see what opportunities and what trouble comes. You could speak to Gamal the Barber at the Caravanserai. He seems to be full of rumors. You could find places suitable for communities for the Second Sons, because the Second Sons are allied with the Thane because they've been promised lands out in the wild tundra of Thule. You could find places suitable for communities for the Second Sons. You could build a ship and explore the unknown coasts of Thule. You could hire on to a whaling crew, because the whales seem to be they have these numerous pods that swim off the coast of Thule. But of course, there is the White Death that seems to lurk out there as well. That the wild Viking that came back and spoke of the wreck of his crew, that's what attacked them. And it's also preyed on some other ships as well, including most recently a ship called the Gallant. You could join a lumber or mining or quarry crew as protection from the fauna of Thule. One of the things that's unfortunate about Thule is that it seems to be very dangerous towards men. So it hunts the humans who live in Thuleborg. So you can also, if you don't want to be on a caravan guard, you go hire out somewhere there as well. Next one, where do you sleep in Thuleborg? Well, if you have the coin, you could stay at the Dragon's Rest, the tavern and inn owned by Nude the Survivor, the only member of the doomed crew of the Dragon's Tooth who lived to tell the tale of the first Hyperboreans to set foot on Thule. Or you could stay at the Ixian Caravanserai. The Ixians, not all Ixians are necromancers, but some merchants from Scythium have come, and over here, this is the Caravanserai where they have set up.
Okay.
There's just so much stuff coming in from the wilds. There's, like, this place is, if you think of kind of like what the initial resource rush was like when Canada was settled, with beavers and pelts and shit like that. Like, that's also a massive part of the industry here. So you could also stay at the Ixian Caravanserai. If you're cheaper, or if you're broke, you could stay at the rowdy longhouse known as Foxbeard's Hall, where the Thane lets anyone stay for free, though it is an incredibly dangerous and rowdy place. Foxbeard's Hall is right here. It's that one sitting up on that prominence. It's this big, long, rectangular-shaped longhouse. Has these massive fires burning inside it. If you think of the hall from the animated Beowulf, with that massive fire burning in the middle, and then like everyone reveling and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Foxbeard's Hall is like. The trouble is, no one polices it. So
it's dangerous.
Dangerous, doesn't cost you anything, and it's a place to stay when it's fucking cold outside. But there's basically, mechanically speaking, you get random encounters in Foxbeard's Hall, even though you're in a safe port.
Right.
There's also benefits that can come from that, though. Like, adventure can really spring from the people. Vikings in particular, if you show strength to them, and as well as many of the other men, not races, but the peoples who live in Hyperborea, or the cultures. Many of them they'll respect strength, So good can come from that as well. Foxbeard's Hall is also a good place to hire on hirelings if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Or you could spend a few coppers to camp on Thuleborg Common. Thuleborg Common is right up here near the caravansary. People are free to stay there wherever they want. You just got to bring a tent. No one's allowed to camp rough, and they offer no rentals. So you do have to actually own a tent. Or you could just sleep outside the walls of Thuleborg, near the fields tended by thralls. Although the slave handlers are often looking to replace fallen thralls, and it's said that even darker threats hunt the fields at night. You can see there are longhouses. These are not barns. These are places where the thralls stay at the end of the night, because things, knowing that there's a city full of men, some predators are happy to go up and try and snag a thrall who stayed in the fields too late. But what about other things? Well, where do I go if you want to buy weapons? Well, then you go to either the Thulean Emporium, which is operated by the Thulean Commerce League, or the Amazonian Smith, Nausicaa. Nausicaa can be found in the Ixian Caravansary. What about buying armor? Well, then go to the Thulean Emporium or the Viking Armor Smith, Calder the Lame. What about horses? Go to the Caravansary. What about buying adventuring supplies? Go to the Caravansary or the Thulean Emporium. What about buying potions? Go see Lou the Lumerian, an apothecary, or you can go see the Sorcerers Guild. The Sorcerers Guild has this rival tower here at the other end of downtown, or other end of town from the Necromancers of Ix. What about retained hirelings? Well, you can go to Shield Hall, which is operated by Owen McRan, or the Caravansary to speak to Joba, or you can go and spend a night at Foxbeard's Hall. Gain information. Go to one of the taverns that we talked about before, or go and speak to Gamal the Barber at the Caravansary. He seems to be a font of chatter, and he has that strange Ixian custom where they take a great deal of pride in their beards and mustaches and hair and whatnot. But he also chats up a storm and often drops some pretty tantalizing hints. Or you can speak to Madoc the Ratcatcher. Madoc seems to be the only Ratcatcher in Thuleborg. But he seems to have eyes and ears everywhere as well. Or, of course, you can go to Foxbeard's Hall and just see how things go. What if you want to pray? You can go to the Temple of Apollo, or the Halls of Raven, or the Shrine of Uller, or the Crypt of Mordazan, or the Halls of Crimmer, or the Secret Sanctum of Set, if you can find that. That's said to be somewhere deep beneath Thuleborg in the catacombs. Now, if you ask anyone else, they'll say the catacombs don't exist. But some say that one of the elder races that built this were a degenerate race of serpents that walked like men. And somewhere under Thuleborg, there is a sanctum to the insidious snake god Set. What if you want to build a ship? Well, then you go and speak to Osen the Right, who runs Thane's shipyards. And you can see the shipyards are right here.
Yeah.
And what about the factions? Let's just quickly talk about that so you get a sense of who the sort of power players are. So the factions that you may encounter include the House of Thurmond, the Viking clan that is the founder and ruler of Thuleborg, Thane Thurmond Foxbeard. There's also Rangvald the Trout. This is the mysterious seneschal to the House of Thurmond. He's a magician of some kind who some say was the true architect behind Thuleborg and the wider Thulean colony. He seems to know many of Thule's secrets. He works with the House of Thurmond, but he seems to also have his own agenda. And that's Rangvald the Trout. There's also the Sorcerers Guild, a secretive organization, of powerful magicians with political influence over the city-state of Chromarium. You probably have heard of them or dealt with them peripherally, in the sense of the members of the Sorcerers Guild. You could kind of know who powerful sorcerers are many in Chromarium, and you would assume they're part of that. So, but I imagine they kind of look down on you because your illusionists are kind of eccentrics,
right?
And you weren't trained. It sounds like you weren't trained in a school of any kind. Or a guild. You were trained by one lone guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The Necromancers of Ix, which is a cabal of sinister necromancers who hail from the island of Ix. There's the Frostwood Circle, an association of Lingit druids and their followers who dwell in the primordial Frostwood. Frostwood is fairly far. I'll show you one more time. We're on that other map. Right over. Oh, I think I got a handout. That is the actual. That's Nude's map. Not in there. It's Thule handouts. Nude's map. Yeah, here we go. There's the map. You see, north of Thuleborg, there's Jernheim, and then north of that is the Frostwoods.
Yeah,
that's where the Frostwood Circle is located. And let's see here. There's the Rooks of Raven, who are fanatics that are devoted to the god of the god of trickery, thieves, and transformation. There are the Borean Rangers, who are an occult conspiracy who fight a secret war against the primordial enemies of man. There's the Second Sons, an alliance of landless nobles from the city-state of Cromarium who have allied themselves with House Thurmond in the hopes of lands of their own. The Thulean Commerce League, a group of wealthy merchants hoping to grow rich from the treasures to be found in Thule. They finance the stone quarry and iron mines near Jernheim. And again, they're the ones who operate the Thulean Emporium, the place where you can buy a lot of trade goods and stuff like that. The Sages Guild of Cromarium, scholars and sages who hope to learn the secrets of this newfound land, because this land only really appeared suddenly. Like you'll notice that Thule is not actually on the map of Hyperborea. It just appeared about 6 or 7 years ago, and these massive waves hit the coast of Hyperborea. And people, when they were brave enough to go out and find it, the only survivor who claimed to be the first person or the first crew to have touched or made landfall on this new continent is Nude. And Nude seemed to have traveled wide across at least the area that he covered.
Yeah.
He talked about the dangers of the Witch Isle or Hexo. He talked about the terrors that are found in the the many ruins to be found across the blasted wastes of Thule, and the safe harbor that eventually Rangball the Trout convinced Thane Thurmond to found his colony on. Many of the cities and structures that you see here, these things were already standing, or for the most part standing. The walls certainly were there when they got here. That's why some of them are collapsed.
Right.
So then there is the Mist Hunters, which is a community of Esquimaux who seem to hail from the Bay of Mists, who seem to know many of the secrets of Thule. There's the Crusade of the Burning Dawn, a group of devout followers of Apollo and Artemis who see Thule as a wild and unholy land in need of taming. And the Ranging Prides, a loose association of savage creatures that are unnatural hybrids of man and beast that live as nomads in the Borean plains of Thule. There's the Guild, which is that Thieves Guild we talked about before that came from Cromarium. There's the Black Lotus Tong, that rival gang from Lemuria. There's Fang's Fleet, a band of roving pirates and raiders who prey on cargo ships and communities of Thule, named for Vidar the Fang, the feared chieftain of these bloody warriors. And last but not least is the Coven, a circle of Thulean witches who seem to have eyes and ears everywhere in the frozen lands of Thule. So the factions are going to work basically the same way that they have in the last couple of campaigns that we've played, where you can curry favor with them, and then as you gain more reputation with them, then you will gain contacts, you will gain rewards that can either be magic items or followers. But unlike the other campaign, there's also a reverse where some of these things are diametrically opposed to each other, like the Black Lotus Tong and the Guild. If you're gaining favor with one, you're going to be pissing off the other.
Right.
And there are some other secret rivalries going on in here as well that will become apparent as you learn more about the setting. But what I've said to the guys is basically, I am kind of approaching this a bit like a bit like an improv campaign and a bit like that spiral approach that we've talked about before, about like kind of having a point and then just seeing where it goes out from there, where the campaign goes out. I'm not going to do a shit ton of work designing all these different factions ahead of time and then like have roles. I'm going to kind of see which ones you respond to, and then we'll see who these characters are as we do that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like,
also, I kind of like. I mean, I like playing that way. There's a certain alchemy that comes from making shit up on the fly and then being stuck with it that I love about this type of campaign, which you well know. Okay, so then let's cap things off. We got 15 minutes. Let's see. So the places that we talked about drinking. Where is it here? Where did I put that? Where did I put that? Oh, yeah. The Dragon's Rest, which is the place operated by Nude. Because I think that the Dragon's Tooth... Oh, yeah, right. Dragon's Tooth was the name of the ship that you guys... You're on that one-shot that brought you guys here. Let's see. There's the Pickled Pig. Is that right? Yeah, Pickled Pig, Foxbeard's Hall, you can always drink at, or Dragon's Rest, or at the Caravansary. So where do you think you would be drinking? Pickled Pig is one of the places down near the waterfronts, mostly like sailors and stuff like that that are there. Dragon's Rest is more, quote-unquote adventurers, people who are seeking riches and fortune, who have coin to spare.
Yeah, that seems like where I would be, sort of more where the adventurers are. I think he's also the people that he would... connect with, because he's sort of on this journey of exploration. Like I said, he's curious about learning more about the ancient people and illusionists and all that. So
so we'll pick up. This is your first night in Thuleborg. Well, you arrived here. Yes, you safely. Arlen. Oh God, Arlen says. Can you believe this, George? Jeff gets to go carousing, and we're stuck in a blizzard. On the upside, guys, there is a lot more XP in that than there is in sitting at the bar. Well, actually, let's see. I don't know what will come from this carousing. So let's hear. Where is my carousing sheet here? So the for those who may be curious, the one I am using is out of Broodmother Sky Fortress by Jeff Reins. It's a product that was published for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, but I like the I like using it for this, because half of the book is basically a bunch of like random stuff that the author used in his either on his blog or in his home campaigns. All right, now carousing. Would you kindly Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so what it is all carousers must make a save versus poison to avoid overindulging their vices. Failure indicates that you need to roll on the table. So it's only with a failure, I guess, that this comes. Because it's never going to be good. Why don't you go ahead and give me... Hold on, you know what? That's not what we want. We want something that's going to be fun. Give me one sec here. All right. Grabbing the old Conan book, because this is all... Everything is high adventure in here. So would you kindly give me... Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do this first. Give me a poison save, please. So I don't think you've got any modifiers versus poison, right?
No, I don't.
So you click on the saving throw on your character sheet. That'll give us a result. You've got a 20% chance of succeeding, so I'm fairly confident you're going to roll on this chart anyway.
Where is this?
On the right.
Versus what?
This is poison, so I think it's death.
Oh, okay, death.
Yep.
Yeah.
Failure. What a shock.
What a shock.
Kind of give me a D20 roll, please.
All right, here we go. 4.
Oh my goodness. Romantic entanglement.
Wow.
All right.
Very interesting start.
So, what I need you to do, what is your wisdom?
My
13, isn't it?
Yeah, 13. That's correct.
So I think 13 is a 2 or higher. So, 3. Give me a D6 roll, please. And you want to roll low on this. Well, it depends.
A D6, you said?
Yes, please.
Oh, not great.
Okay, so it's roll a wisdom check to avoid nuptials. You failed. So now let's see what happens. So give me a D6 roll again, and we'll see what happens here.
It's always better.
Yeah, so the result was angered parents.
Oh my goodness. So
here's what I think happened. And Jeff, you've also got Astonishing Fortune as well, too. So it's just like a lot of the other like resources that I use in other games. So you can spend it to re-roll a dice roll. You can spend it to automatically succeed on a saving throw. Yeah. You can also spend it to reduce damage to nothing. Because there's been times where people have like if it's a damage source, then you can reduce it to nothing. Like if it'll kill you, you can just spend that.
Yeah. I
mentioned that because you have 4 hit points. So, all right. So you get your first night in, and you head to what has become legendary. And you I think on the trip over, you've heard nothing but people talking about this Dragon's Rest, or not? Yeah, Dragon's Rest. It's the guy, this half mad Viking who was part of the crew, the lone survivor of this crew. And like, they've been telling stories about how his crew was consumed by ghosts. He's heard that they've been dragged off to an icy hell. He's heard that one of them betrayed the others, or that all of them betrayed the others. Some witch that was on board who made an alliance with some other dark force. And like, it's all sorts of different stories you've heard. You've heard he's faced frost giants. You've heard he's faced ice worms. You've heard he's faced creatures older than, the very Hyperborean peoples, like older than any even inkling of race of man. And he's there with the map, and he's, as long as you keep buying at his place, he's often happy to talk as well too about what to help you. Well, more it's just he likes talking because he really can't help himself, and he spent so damn long on his own. So that's where you headed, and you got drinking, and it sounds like you met someone, and probably someone who's a little too young. And so, what do you think happened? Because your guy is pretty charming, right?
Right.
So it's this young Viking girl who probably only speaks Old Norse. She may speak Common as well too, but maybe you were talking, it's like broken Common, and you were speaking to her in Old Norse. And maybe the liquor got in the way, and you weren't quite. I mean, you're really, really smart. So you'd have to be pretty fucking drunk to, misunderstand a language or what's being said. But I guess that's what happened. And yeah, so how do you think, knowing in the morning that you had been promised to this girl, what's your reaction? We can assume that you have spent the coin to have at least a sectioned off part where you maybe spent the night with her. And in the morning,
right. Oh my goodness!
These are Vikings. They don't have the same kind of hangups that Christian folks do. So
right, absolutely.
Yeah. So she, so a morning comes, and she thinks that you're promised to her in some way, or you're gonna be, and you reacted, I'm guessing, in an incredibly poor way, which led to angry parents.
Right. I think I would have been, maybe embarrassed.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So I think what we'll say is Walter puts in what do you call it in chat? It's the like cross no 18, no 18.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Where is it here? We're gonna Volos guys. So I want some Norse names here. All right, so let's so morning comes, and I think you maybe don't know what you've actually done. Wait, I got the wrong book. I got Volos. Xanthos. So I'm looking through. I'm like, why do I have a bunch of 5th edition monsters in here? Because I'm a dummy and grabbed the wrong thing.
What would he be trying to do? I think he would like. So they're angry.
They're angry, and I think that will. Let's see here.
Yeah, like I think that he would be. I think he would be trying to sell it as a mistake, but you know he'll do whatever the parents want to make them happy. Essentially.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, I take my headphones off for a sec.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes. All right. Let's see here. Would you... We're going to do this totally improvised. Excuse me. Kindly give me a roll 2d20.
2.
2.
And 13.
That fits. Give me another 2 2d20 rolls.
14 and 10.
Interesting. Okay. All right, and another 2d20, please.
8 and 13.
Okay, and another 2d20, please.
This time 14.
Yeah.
And 12.
Wow. Okay. And then one more time, too.
One more time. 18.
Okay.
And 18. Double 18s.
Okay.
Very interesting.
And I'll roll the last one here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So what happens is you get up in in the morning and you do find yourself alone. And what happens is you kind of get up and there's some let's see here. I'll say he's a yeah, I'll say he's a Celt because he's from elsewhere as well too. His name is Eric. So Eric gets up and you sort of come to, and he looks over at you and you I don't think you recognize him from Adam. Why don't you give me another poison or death save too? Or give me a Constitution check, or test rather. So if you go onto your character sheet, not the test, not the feat.
So like just roll beside Constitution.
Yes, not no. The next to, let me see here. I think it's a separate separate little button next to there. Let's see here.
Well, there's one that says, test of Constitution. That one?
That's it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Ah, there it is. Oh, yeah. Success.
Nice. Okay, so you wake up and your stomach roils like the tempestuous Hyperborean sea that brought you here, but you're able to sort of keep your shit together. And this ginger-haired Celt with a bit of a scruffy little mustache and a bit of a tuft of hair on his chin, he looks at you and kind of hits you in the shoulder. Says, "You're awake."
Yeah.
Where'd that little one go off to?
Now, do I remember anything from last night?
I don't. Well, why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and make another saving throw.
Okay.
It's supposed to be, see how, I mean, we know
against
you.
Death?
Against death again, yeah, please. Because you feel like it. So you're thinking, like, you got here, it's one of those blackout drunk nights. You've no idea what the fuck happened.
Okay. No idea, yeah. What little one? What are you talking about?
That blonde little number. You were with her most of the night. Though she didn't seem pleased with whatever you told her at the end.
Huh. I honestly can't remember.
Would you give me, let's see here. I'm going to make a spot check here. Okay, Eric points at your throat, says, "You still got that, don't you?" And you look down, and you've got this little, it looks like a little pendant. And you're certain you did not have this last night.
Yeah, I guess so. What is it?
This bam, as the door to the tavern kind of slams open. And people are sort of like, at the noise, there's people from all over the Dragon's Rest that are like, like, shut up, keep it down. And you see this enormous blonde-haired Viking guy come storming in. And behind him are a small coterie of similarly large Vikings. No, only one. And then he is dragging the biggest guy in the front there is dragging this blonde girl by the arm behind him, and drags. He looks around and he says something to her in Old Norse that I think you probably hear because he's incredibly pissed off, and he is not. And I mean, he's got your attention. What he says in Old Norse is, "Where is he?" And she sort of sheepishly looks around, and Eric quickly hops up and he claps you in the shoulder and says, "Been nice knowing you," and walks away. And at that, you sort of like, what the... And you see this guy, or you look over, and the girl who's with him she's this pretty, if thin, kind of Viking woman. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She's pretty. If a bit plain, but she sort of makes eye contacts with you, and you sort of, she's looking at you like she knows, and then sort of, you know what I'm gonna do is let's use the henchman reaction to see how pissed she is at you. I'll see if she's still, secretly got a thing, or whether she's, a woman scorned. I don't want to play the stereotype unless the dice tell me I have to. So give me a sec here. The henchman thing is... I actually haven't used this yet. It's pretty exciting. Breaking in all sorts of new rules. Okay, where is it here? Oh, dang it. Where is it? Fighting ability. Services. think it's at the beginning here. Maybe. This is always the best part of the stream, of course, is watching Kev struggle to find something in a fucking book. This is where, if I was not so lazy, I would do some edits and take this shit out because this stuff is not, I don't think, does not make for edge of your seat viewing. I try to make up for it by seeing how long I can keep talking while simultaneously looking for the actual thing I'm looking for. And I seem to be running up against something here because I can't find the damn thing. God dang. Where are the... Oh, you know what? I know it's hidden in the adventuring section because I know it's before... Where are you? You're around here. You can't hide from me any longer. I'm closing in. You see the poison rules. Ah! No, that's the XP. I aha'd before I should have. Stronghold. Nope. Further back. Specialists. Here we go. Henchman loyalty. Boom. Let's see if this actually pays off too. Would you kindly give me a 2d6 roll? And oh, you know what? I think there might be a roll on the character sheet that will roll that for you. Let's see. Tulagak. Is there? There's not. So just give me a 2d6 roll plus your plus 1 because of your awesome charisma. Is it plus 1 or plus 2? Plus 1.
6.
Let's see how she has reacted to you.
Oh, could be okay.
9? No, that's pretty good. Trustworthy. Attempts to please employer. So she sort of looks up and she sees you, and then she sheepishly points off at someone else. And at that, the big Viking guy kind of looks over at old one-eyed Nude behind the bar.
Yeah.
And Nude looks up, does that, and the blonde-haired guy looks like he's even madder, if possible. His pale face gets even redder, and he looks at Nude, and Nude sort of like nods the head up in your direction. And what are you looking like right now?
I think he's trying to look confident, but in reality, he is very scared of this guy.
Okay. So he looks up, and then the guy roars out, "The Esquimaux!" And she starts, her tears are... Well, hold on. She's Viking. Let's see. I don't know if she'd cry. No fucking way. She says, "No, it's..." And she gestures at someone else. And she says, "You can't lie to me." Her name is Vigdis. "You can't lie to me, Vigdis." And he's basically dragging her behind him as he's storming towards you. So this guy comes walking up to you, and you're pretty tall, for an Eskimo.
Yeah.
But this guy is a good 6'3", 6'4", and he is fucking filled out too. He's got that thickness that comes from a youth of strength that slowly gets bulkier over time. And he comes, raging up towards you, and his name's Ivar. So he comes storming up, and looks, he says, "You!" And he sees the thing hanging around your neck. It's like, "You broke a promise."
A how did I break a promise? I don't even know you.
You promised to her. And he kind of almost lifts her off the off the ground.
I promised what to her?
You promised her, and you took the dowry.
We're married?
Not according to her. You think you can break this vow? Dishonor my family? My clan? This is like carrying throughout the entire place. Every head is turned in your direction right now, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Also hoping, I mean, they all sort of know. I think this is not their first time they've seen a pissed off Viking somewhere in Thuleborg.
So I look at him, I'm like, you want me to marry your daughter?
No, I want nothing. A waif like you? A Skraeling like you? I want nothing like that. But an oath was made. You must make recompense to the clan.
What do you expect me to do?
She says, you are a man of sorceries and cleverness.
True.
Give me a D6 roll. I just want to see something here. Okay. No, this guy seems incredibly fucking pissed. Like on the verge of drawing the sword at his waist that seems pretty easy and pretty close to being drawn. He says, "Oh, you'll be making recompense."
I said, I'll show you what I can do, and I'm going to cast Terrify on him.
You know what? That's the cliffhanger we'll leave it on.
Nice.
So you start casting stuff, and I guess what does it look like as you cast your as Terrified? Is it like storm clouds come across your eyes?
Yeah, I think it's something that takes about 6 seconds, right? According to the rules.
Yep.
So it takes quite a while. Yeah, I think that it's like, sort of my aura gets sort of darker, and then all the rest is sort of happening in his mind as I just become, things that are more and more terrifying to him. So, I don't know, maybe, whatever he's afraid of. If he's afraid of dogs or whatever, he just starts to see those aspects in me.
That's awesome. Okay. So for those listening at home, if you're curious about what all those D20 rolls were from, and I think some may have guessed it, I'm using the adventure creation out of the Game Master's Toolkit for Conan, because it's actually pretty fucking cool, and it gives some really evocative results for it. So, wow. Let's see. We're going to save that saving throw. You know what I'm going to do? Actually, no. I'm going to make the saving throw, and then we will find out what the result is.
Like his saving throw versus my Terrify spell.
Yeah. So I've got the result of the saving throw, and we will find out whether he has successfully saved next time. So that's awesome. All right, cool. So let's get out of the game here.
Even if he saves, he will know that I was using magic on him and have some idea of what it was doing or not.
I think he will. Like the way I've been describing magic in Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea is like we did in Adventure Conqueror King, where it's like the Warcraft movies magic, right? Like if you're working magic, everyone kind of knows you're doing that.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's this big, like impressive thing. Okay, cool. Let's get out of the game here. Pretty awesome. So we actually got into Thuleborg for the first time. My goodness. All right. So, which I really hope I didn't. Again, George and Arlen, you guys will get there soon.
Yeah, they haven't actually been to Thuleborg yet?
No, they haven't.
Oh, that's so funny.
We started the campaign with them shipwrecked, and we have spent 20 hours of them making their way across the waste. They've explored 2 ruins so far, though, so it's not like they've been fucking around.
Right, like they're making money and having adventure.
Exactly, and gaining XP as well, too. So you will gain some XP from this. And the way that I've been working the rules for first level play is you get double XP for first level. So until you hit second level, you'll always get double XP. So whatever XP I'll be giving you, you'll get double that. Because it's, once you get a second level, then it's going to be normal. You'll advance at the regular pace. But yeah. Okay, cool. So, and I guess the other thing I'll say is this was, Jeff and I had nothing in mind what to do. I've had 4 hours of sleep because I was working like crazy this week. This has been a completely fucking pleasurable surprise, Jeff. Both in terms of fun. Yeah. And where you went with your character too. It's such a different type of character than what you played in other campaigns. So I love it.
Oh, absolutely. interesting character for sure.
Mm-hmm. And all of the different adventures that take place in Thule are all canon. They all take place in the same world. So you Tulagak is in the same world as the other heroes of Hyperborea and whatever other adventures I might run in Thuleborg. So
nice.
Cool. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for this impromptu session of Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do the playlist for this one. So we'll figure that out. Yeah. But if you have, as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll endeavor to try and respond in a timely fashion. In fact, I plan after the session to get on and get caught up in my correspondence I fell behind on this weekend. Alternatively, if you want to reach me on Twitter, I'm there at Dungeon Musings. Or you can reach me by email, and my email address is it's dungeonmusings@gmail.com. I had just enough brain power to get through the session, and then it's gone now. I will change the description of the video to read it properly for what we actually played tonight, what we did. And I suspect this is not going to be the last time we've seen Tulagak, because it says a lot about this particular game that, like, even as a brand new character, brand new campaign, like, I fucking love playing this game.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. So anyway, so for those listening at home, again, thanks again. Oh, and finally, thanks, Jeff. Thanks so much for jumping in on a brand new game tonight too. I know that we had something different planned for tonight, and we decided to go in a different direction. But you're always up and willing to do that, and I greatly appreciate that.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. So otherwise, for those listening at home and for those in chat, thanks so much for joining us through. This was a really fun night with chat. We got having some of the players from from the other parts of Thule coming in. So that was a lot of fun, and some other folks and some long time some folks we haven't heard from recently too. So that's been great all around. For at the time of recording, this is International Happiness Day. So thanks for making such a good session on Happiness Day.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. All right. So until next time, folks, thanks again for watching, and happy gaming.